How dare you steal my day? I choked out, tears burning my eyes as my sister Vanessa's cruel words echoed through the silent wedding hall. Her speech, dripping with fake sweetness, had just torn me apart in front of everyone I loved, calling me plain, awkward, unworthy of my husband. The room froze, guests staring, while her smug grin dared me to break. But that wasn't the worst part. Vanessa's betrayal was years in the making, a calculated plan to keep me in her shadow. What she didn't know? I held the key to her darkest secrets, and they were about to ruin her perfect life. My wedding day was supposed to be my fairy tale, but Vanessa turned it into a nightmare. Now I'm done being the quiet sister. I've got a plan to expose her lies at her big influencer gala, and it's going to hit harder than she ever expected. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you trusted? Share your story below, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into how my sister's cruelty pushed me to fight back. Hi, I'm Emma, the invisible sister to my family's golden child, Vanessa. Growing up, I thought blood was thicker than water, but my sister's betrayal taught me it's thinner than the foundation she slathers on for her Instagram selfies. I can still picture us as kids, standing at my middle school awards ceremony. I'd worked so hard for that academic medal, my hands shaking as I walked to the stage. But Vanessa, 2 years older and always prettier, louder, better, stole the moment. She tripped into me, knocking my medal to the floor, then laughed it off while everyone fawned over her charm. I smiled, like always, but that day stuck with me. It was the first time I realized Vanessa didn't just want the spotlight, she wanted mine gone. Then I met David, the first person who truly saw me, not just Vanessa's shadow. He changed everything, but he also set the stage for my sister's worst betrayal yet. Vanessa and I couldn't have been more different. I was quiet, happy with my books and my thoughts, while she craved attention like oxygen. She'd light up rooms with her laugh, but it always came at a cost. Our parents had 2 daughters, but only 1 star. They'd gush over Vanessa's dance recitals, her homecoming queen crown, while my straight A's got a pat on the head and a, "That's nice, Emma." I learned to fade away, so good at being invisible, I sometimes wondered if I existed at all. Vanessa didn't just bask in their praise. She made sure I stayed small. She'd take credit for my ideas, like the time she pitched my science fair project as hers and won first place. She'd borrow my favorite sweater and return it stretched out, laughing when I got upset. I told myself it was just sister stuff, that she didn't mean it. But every jab, every stolen moment built a wall between us I couldn't ignore. When David came into my life, everything shifted. We met at a friend's barbecue, and he didn't even notice Vanessa's usual show, flipping her hair, telling loud stories. He asked me about my favorite book, and we talked for hours. Last spring, at our favorite hiking spot, he got down on one knee, the sunset glowing behind him. His proposal wasn't flashy, just a simple ring and words that made my heart burst. "Emma, you're my home." For the first time, I had something Vanessa couldn't touch. I was so happy planning our wedding, picturing our small vineyard ceremony, my lace-sleeved dress, the songs we'd dance to. But Vanessa's reaction was ice cold. "You? A bride? Good luck pulling that off," she said, her voice sharp. Later, she sent a family group chat a backhanded congrats, pointing out how cute my tiny ring was compared to what she'd expect. I brushed it off, determined to keep my joy. I didn't see the warning signs, didn't realize how far she'd go to ruin my moment. Vanessa's envy started creeping in louder. She'd roll her eyes when I talked about wedding plans, calling my dress frumpy and pushing me to hire her influencer friend as our photographer for clout. I stayed focused, pouring my heart into every detail with David. But Vanessa was always there, inserting herself. She insisted on hosting a pre-wedding party at our house, promising it'd be low-key. Instead, she invited her loud influencer crew, who trashed our place with spilled drinks and left me cleaning up at 3 a.m. the night before my wedding. I was exhausted, but I told myself I could handle it. I just wanted one perfect day. Vanessa even demanded to give a speech at the reception, calling it her sisterly duty. I agreed, hoping she'd show a shred of kindness. Looking back, I was naive. Vanessa wasn't planning to celebrate me. She was planning to bury me. Have you ever had someone you love try to dim your light when you finally started to shine? Drop a comment below if you've dealt with a toxic family member like my sister Vanessa. What would you have done in my shoes? Wedding planning was my escape, a chance to build something beautiful with David. We wanted a small ceremony at a vineyard, just 100 guests under twinkling lights, with wildflowers on every table. My dress was the heart of it all, a simple gown with lace sleeves, a nod to my grandmother who'd sewn lace for her own wedding decades ago. I'd run my fingers over the delicate patterns, imagining her smile. But Vanessa had other plans. She called my vision basic and my dress old-fashioned, pushing me to choose a flashy venue or a skin-tight gown to stand out. Her suggestions felt like knives, each one slicing at my confidence. I kept my head down, determined to protect my dream, but Vanessa was relentless, always finding a way to make me feel small. One day, dress shopping turned into a nightmare. I'd invited Vanessa, hoping for a bonding moment, but she brought her influencer friends. Loud, judgmental women who giggled at every gown I tried on. "Emma, that lace makes you look like a doily," one said, while Vanessa laughed and added, "Yeah, you're not exactly bridal material." My cheeks burned as I stood in the fitting room, clutching the dress I loved. The shop assistant gave me a pitying look, and I wanted to disappear. Vanessa even pushed to be maid of honor, saying it was only fair since she was the fun sister. I didn't want her in the role, but guilt won out. She was family after all. Worst of all, I agreed to let her give a speech at the reception. I thought giving her a moment in the spotlight would keep her happy. I was so wrong. Vanessa's sabotage didn't stop at words. Behind my back, she was working to ruin everything. I overheard her telling our aunt that I was settling for David, claiming he was too good for me. Then I found out she'd called our florist, changing my wildflower order to gaudy roses, as a surprise. When I confronted her, she shrugged, saying, "I thought you'd like something classier." Half our RSVP cards went missing too, and Vanessa swore they got lost in the mail. Guests started texting me, confused, and I spent hours fixing the mess. David noticed the pattern. One night, as we stuffed favor bags, he grabbed my hand. "Are you sure you want her so involved? Something feels off." I nodded, brushing it off, but doubt gnawed at me. Vanessa wasn't just being difficult. She was trying to wreck my day. The night before the wedding was the breaking point. Vanessa insisted on throwing a surprise pre-wedding party at our house. I'd begged for a quiet evening, but she showed up with her influencer posse, blasting music and spilling drinks on our couch. The house shook with their laughter, empty bottles piling up. I tried to sleep, my dress hanging in the closet, but the noise was deafening. At 2 a.m., I stormed downstairs in my pajamas. "It's my wedding tomorrow, Vanessa," I shouted, my voice cracking. She rolled her eyes, tossing her hair. "God, you're so uptight. I just wanted you to have fun for once." Her friends snickered, and her fake apology felt like a slap. I cleaned up their mess until dawn, exhausted but clinging to hope. Tomorrow was my day. I'd walk down the aisle, marry David, and leave Vanessa's chaos behind. Or so I thought. I'm curious. Would you have kicked everyone out at that pre-wedding party? Or would you have tried to keep the peace like I did? Drop a comment below with what you'd have done. The morning of my wedding felt like a dream I didn't want to wake from. Despite Vanessa's chaos, I stood in front of the mirror, my lace-sleeved dress hugging me perfectly. And for once, I felt beautiful. My phone buzzed with texts from David. "You're my everything. Can't wait to see you." His words washed away the exhaustion from the night before, filling me with warmth. But then Vanessa showed up late to hair and makeup, breezing in with a coffee cup and no apology, snapping at the stylist to hurry up. Her dress caught my eye, ivory, skin tight, and way too close to bridal. It screamed for attention, but I bit my tongue, focusing on my day. My parents didn't help. "Doesn't your sister look gorgeous?" Mom gushed, oblivious to the tension. I forced a smile, clinging to my joy, determined not to let Vanessa ruin this. The ceremony was my sanctuary. Walking down the aisle at the vineyard, the sun casting golden light through the vines, I locked eyes with David. His smile, full of love, made my heart steady. As we said our vows, promising to choose each other every day, Vanessa didn't exist. The guests' warm applause wrapped around us, and the soft breeze carried the scent of wildflowers. It was perfect, almost. In the corner, I glimpsed Vanessa's influencer friends, snapping selfies instead of watching. I pushed it out of my mind, savoring the moment. For those few minutes, I wasn't the invisible sister. I was David's wife, and nothing could touch that. The reception started with laughter and clinking glasses, the dance floor alive under string lights. I was floating, twirling in David's arms, when Vanessa grabbed the microphone. Her eyes had that gleam I knew from childhood, the one that meant someone was about to get hurt. "Let's toast my little sister," she began, her voice syrupy. Then it turned cruel. "Emma's always been the plain one," she said, pausing for laughs that didn't come. "Who'd have thought she'd land a guy like David? I guess miracles happen." She kept going, digging up my awkward high school moments. "Remember when she thought that boy liked her? God, that was hilarious." The room went still. David's jaw clenched. My in-laws shifted in their seats. Guests stared at me with pity, their whispers like needles. My face burned, tears pricking my eyes. Something inside me shattered, and something harder, colder, took its place. I sat frozen as Vanessa finished, her friends cackling while everyone else looked away. The rest of the night blurred, smiling for photos, cutting the cake. But inside, I was done. Vanessa didn't just want to shine. She wanted to crush me, to prove I'd never outdo her. I thought of the secrets I'd kept for her, the lies she told sponsors, the boyfriend she cheated on, the colleague she sabotaged for a deal. I'd stayed quiet out of loyalty, but that ended now. Her speech wasn't just words. It was war. And I was ready to fight back. I want to know, what's the worst thing someone has said about you in public? That moment when your heart stops and your face burns with humiliation? Share your experience in the comments. The real question is, what would you do after such a public betrayal? Hit that subscribe button to find out exactly how I planned my response. Vanessa thought she'd won, but she was about to learn what happens when you push me too far. After the honeymoon, I couldn't shake Vanessa's wedding speech, her cruel words replayed like a broken record. For 3 weeks, I turned my pain into purpose, quietly gathering proof of her lies. Late one night, on our old family computer, I found emails Vanessa thought she'd deleted. They showed her promising fake brand deals to small businesses, taking their money and ghosting them. I reached out to Olivia, Vanessa's ex-best friend, who'd been dropped when she stopped boosting Vanessa's image. Over coffee, Olivia spilled everything. Vanessa had bought thousands of fake followers to inflate her influence. Digging deeper, I uncovered screenshots of Vanessa stealing another influencer's captions and photos, passing them off as hers. The biggest find? Proof she'd sabotaged her colleague Jessica by spreading lies to a brand, costing Jessica a major campaign. Each piece was a weapon, and I was building an arsenal. I learned Vanessa was set to star at a glitzy gala, where a top sponsor would announce her as their new ambassador. It was her biggest moment yet, and I knew it was my chance. I created an anonymous email account and organized every damning file, emails, screenshots, Olivia's testimony, into a digital folder. I contacted Jessica, offering a cautious olive branch. "I think you deserve to know what really happened." She was stunned but eager to help. Timing was everything. Revenge isn't served cold. It's served when it hits hardest. Part of me hesitated, wondering if exposing Vanessa made me as bad as her. Then I remembered her voice at my wedding, mocking me in front of everyone I loved. She chose this war, not me. I wasn't just fighting for myself. I was fighting for everyone she'd hurt. The night of the gala arrived, and I watched from a distance, heart pounding. The venue sparkled with chandeliers, influencers posing in designer dresses. Vanessa was in her element, laughing, clinking champagne glasses, oblivious to the storm coming. The sponsor took the stage, praising her as authentic and trustworthy, words that made my stomach twist. I sat in my car, laptop open, and hit send. The folder went to the sponsor, industry blogs, Jessica, and a group of Vanessa's top followers. My phone buzzed as I sent Vanessa a text. Remember my wedding? This speech is from me to you. Notifications exploded, blogs posting the evidence, Jessica sharing her story online, followers turning angry. The gala's mood shifted, whispers spreading like wildfire. Vanessa's face, once glowing, was about to fall. Have you ever been in a position where you had to choose between taking the high road or standing up for yourself? Share in the comments what choice you made. The fallout from my revenge was more intense than I expected. The gala turned into chaos faster than I expected. Vanessa's confident smile crumbled as her phone buzzed with notifications. Guests whispered, pulling out their phones to record as the sponsor stepped back to the stage, voice tight. "We're withdrawing our support effective immediately," he said, citing new information. Clips of Vanessa's meltdown, her shouting, mascara streaking, spread online, with Vanessa exposed trending by morning. My phone lit up with her frantic texts. "How could you do this to your own sister?" I didn't respond. At home, my parents called, torn and shaken. For the first time, they saw Vanessa's true colors, the lies, the cruelty. "We didn't know," Dad said, but I wasn't ready to hear it. The fallout was public, brutal, and exactly what I'd planned. But it left a strange ache in my chest. I sat on our couch, David's arm around me, feeling both victory and loss. Exposing Vanessa felt right, but I grieved the sister I'd once idolized, the one who'd braided my hair as kids. David was gentle but worried. "You did what you needed to do, but where do we go from here?" he asked. I didn't have an answer yet. The next day, I faced my parents. "You enabled her," I said, voice steady. "You let her become this person by always choosing her over me." They looked stunned, mumbling apologies, but I needed more than words. I thought about justice, how it tasted sweet but heavy. Vengeance hadn't healed me. It had just cleared the way for something new. I wasn't the quiet girl anymore, but I wasn't Vanessa either. I'd fought for myself, and that was enough. Vanessa's world collapsed fast. Brands dropped her, followers unfollowed in droves, and her influencer career tanked. Weeks later, a letter arrived. Her handwriting, no return address. "I never thought you had it in you," she wrote, half apologizing, half bitter. I read it once, then tucked it away. I chose limited contact, keeping her at arm's length without cutting her off completely. With my parents, I set clear rules. Love doesn't mean letting people hurt you. David and I decided to start fresh, moving to a new city where we could focus on our marriage, away from family drama. Our new apartment, small but ours, felt like a blank page. I was ready to write a story where I wasn't anyone's shadow. Looking back, I see how far I've come. I used to be the invisible girl, fading so Vanessa could shine. Now, I stand my ground. And it feels good. Sometimes the quiet ones make the loudest impact when they finally speak. Forgiveness is tricky. I can forgive without forgetting, without letting her back in to hurt me again. I don't regret exposing her secrets. I regret that she gave me so many to expose. The spotlight she craved finally found her, just not how she wanted. And me? I stepped out of the shadows on my own terms. What do you think? Did I go too far with my revenge, or did Vanessa get exactly what she deserved? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, kindly subscribe for more. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload.